Sergio Perez is leaving Red Bull, and it's the best thing that has ever happened to him. Now, I know that doesn't make much sense, so let me tell you why. Sergio Perez got a 1+1 deal at Red Bull after the Monaco Grand Prix, which made everyone think that Red Bull was very secure with him staying in the future. This, however, has been rightly questioned since Sergio has had terrible finishes since that contract. Since the contract extension, Sergio Perez is at a DNF in Canada, 8th in Spain, 7th in Austria, and 17th in Silverstone. All this for a grand total of 10 points. In the same time, Hulkenberg has had 16 points and a Haas. But let me put it further into perspective. Perez's teammate, Max Verstappen, has gotten 1st in Canada, 1st in Spain, 5th in Austria because of a collision that may or may not have been his fault, and 2nd in Silverstone, for a total of 78 points. That is a 68-point difference in the exact same time zone. And look, no one can beat Max Verstappen currently, so we're not holding that against him. But he's been in the exact same car and has been able to make a 68-point deficit in it. I mean, that's insane. Sure, the Red Bull is worse. It may be the third best car on the grid. It might be the second. Who knows? But it's absolutely absurd for him to have such a big difference in those 4 races. So with that, rumors have started to come out that Sergio Perez may be removed mid-season, which is possibly true considering it's happened for much, lesser circumstances, such as what happened with Max Verstappen when they put him in the car mid-season. Sergio's contract happens to have a lot of clauses, so it's a 1+1 deal for 2 years, but Red Bull can remove him from it if they feel necessary. Now, whether they do that is definitely debatable, because it does put a very high standard on their second drivers. But it does kind of seem necessary for the future of the Red Bull team if they want to win this Constructors' Championship, because they can't win it with only one driver scoring all of their points when they start to get worse. So, what will happen to Sergio Perez that is such a good thing for his career? Well, Sergio Perez in the past has dominated in middle fields. That's what he got his Red Bull seat on, was that he got a win in a racing bull. So when he gets kicked out of Red Bull, he would absolutely be picked up by some sort of midfield team, and he would be the lead driver, and he would be a star, and he could compete for podiums. Now, there is a very distinct team I have in mind to where he could go. That's very probable when they're looking for a more older driver that can really teach their new younger driver something new. But first, I want everyone to stop, subscribe, and like. It's free, and it helps me out immensely. Now, the team that I'm thinking of is definitely the Haas F1 team. They've been looking for a veteran driver to teach their now signed Oliver Behrman. Nico Hulkenberg is leaving the team, and Kevin Magnussen is probably not being re-signed, so they're looking for a secondary driver. And even Fred Vasseur, who's the team principal of Ferrari, which is partnered with Haas, has said that they want a veteran in the seat, and that they need someone with experience at both winning and losing to be able to teach their new young driver that they care about so much. It doesn't make sense for him to go anywhere else but Haas. It also is the only open seat really up for debate. It's not like Carlos Sainz is going to get it, so no one else is gunning for it. A move to Haas or any other Formula One midfield team would be really good for the Mexican driver. He's a really good driver. He just can't do being a second seater at Red Bull. And I think that it's his mentality that has just been screwed up because of how much he's had to go through being the second driver. He's not a Valtteri Bottas. He wants to win races, and I don't think that he can handle it. But I definitely think that he would excel at being a mentor to Oliver Behrman at Haas. It just makes sense. However, it is just an idea, especially since of the contract extension. We don't really know what's in that contract, and for all we know, he really could be at Red Bull for 2 more years, and there may be no replacing him. Or maybe Red Bull don't care and they're happy with no one interfering with Max Verstappen.